Guess who's back? Back again. Gareth's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 He's home! He's home! Hello guys, it's Spurs 21 here. And as you can tell from the jovial mood I'm in, yes indeed, the prodigal son himself is home. Gareth Bale has returned home to Tottenham Hotspur. Is a sentence I didn't think I'd ever say, ever. It's still sinking in at the moment. I'm literally jumping inside, doing somersaults. I am that excited about this. It's a superhuman to have him home. It's he's home. He's home. I can't. Ever since the rumours have broken out this week, since about Tuesday, Wednesday, that possibly this was on the cards, I think, to be fair, every single Tottenham fan has had some degree of hesitancy to go full all in on it, but it's actually happened. He's home. I can't believe it. He's home. And in true fashion, I am wearing a shirt that was worn from Gareth Bale when he scored one of his best ever goals for us. If you know which one it is, leave it in the comments below. He's home. He's home. To emphasise how massive this is, I'm currently 27 years old. When Bale was coming through at Spurs when I was 16, 17 in 2009-2010 season, towards the end, when he really started to pick up steam for us and started getting in the side, he looked like a really good talent then. I mean, if you go back further to when his very debut at the club in 2007, the promise was always there for him. It took him a while to develop it. And then, of course, that famous night at the San Siro against Inter Milan, he took on the best right back in the world at the time and virtually ended his career in that moment. Twice. 2 games back to back, and just from that point, he turned himself into a superstar. His quality always shone through for us. He was the integral part of Redknapp's amazing football flirting that so many of us have fond memories of. And then the last season he was with us, 2012 to 2013, he became single-handedly the best player in the league and was genuinely on Ronaldo Messi level that season. I've never seen a player, especially a player for Spurs, win so many games single-handedly on his own, again and again and again, all in the 90th minute of games, with worldy left-footed shots from 25 yards out, in the top corner, every time without fail. It's just the minute the ball got on his left foot, you just knew it was going in. He had that aura, that presence about him that last season. He was unplayable. To this day, probably, as long as I've been alive at Spurs, and I'm sure many of you guys have been around and been alive longer. You've seen many great players, but for me, Bale has been the ultimate match winner more times than anybody else I know. That player who can spring an individual piece of brilliance from literally nowhere in a game and just can win you a match on his own. And he's back home after all these years. It's weird because we remember that last game against Sunderland in 2013 when he scored another left-footed top corner, worlded to win us that game, and we all kind of although we denied it, we probably all knew in our hearts that that was the end of the road and that he was going to go to Real Madrid that summer. And I guess we've all inside had a little smidgen of hope that one day he would come home. And they do say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I genuinely can't put into words how amazing this feels. I mean, it's the biggest signing that Spurs have made since definitely since Rafael van der Vaart in 2010, but maybe even since we signed Jurgen Klinsmann in 1994. It's that huge. It just blows everything out of the water. I think this still can't go wrong. I mean, obviously we know it's only currently a season long loan, but there is an option for a second year, which ties him to the end of his present contract at Real Madrid. So theoretically speaking, if that all goes well, and obviously we do believe it will, that he will stay on beyond that. And it's given the fans such a lift. You know, the genuine feel good happiness that I've seen online from everyone and all the interviews I've seen. It's given everyone such a buzz, such a lift that. And I'm sure it's going to give the players a lift to have someone of his calibre, and even some of them, like the coach himself, who of course used to play with him, and Harry, who was just coming, through the ranks when Bale was there. You know, to see somebody of his calibre come in is going to just lift everyone up, and it, as I said, it's almost indescribable, but it's just so happy to have him home, and he's happy to be home too. You saw it when he arrived at the training ground yesterday. You could see the smile on his face, the genuine happiness inside of him. You know, to be back. It's just amazing, guys. That's all I can say. How happy are you guys about it, and how excited are you that he's home? As ever, leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you as ever for your amazing support. Yeah, I've been Ben Spurs 21. I'll see you guys soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs!